Hello friends. Today I will be giving interview on very interesting and important subject. I'm just going to send invitation to Anna.
I'm
Hello.
here. Sorry, some technical
You're here
difficulties, but we're
finally.
here. All right, great.
Good to see you. How you
Amazing.
been?
So, Daria, thank you for having me as a guest today on your channel. I really appreciate it. So, I'm going to be asking you a couple of questions today, and what I really need to focus on is financial abundance, and what are some tips that you can recommend an audience, your followers, your clients, to really focus on that. And also, what are some things that can block financial abundance that I know is applicable to a lot of people, and a lot of people who follow spirituality or have multiple practices, they're really focused on that. And I've been personally having a lot of questions from my audience, and because I know I do events on expansion of consciousness, and mostly people who come to attend my events, they've been asking me that question. So that's the reason why I decided to talk about that today, because I think it's very applicable to a lot of people.
Thank you. Topic is really great. And you told me that we have like 15-20 minutes. Of course, for such topic, I will talk like 4 hours. But since we need to make it like very compact, let me explain it from a magical point of view. It's all about amount of energy, amount of power. Someone has like really basic amount of power, really basic energy field, so that people making super like little money, but they spending for work 16 hours, 18, 20, few shifts, few different jobs, 8 hours mapping floors, 8 hours washing dishes, making couple coins a month, so just to survive. So this is very basic level. When someone need to earn by spending too much energy, spending too much hours. Another level, more higher level, when someone learn how to spend less time, work less hard, but make more money. So that is beginning of development, of growth. As more free time we have, as more money we have, as more we have energy. So basically, when universe gives you permission to go to next level of life, of development, of growth, you will spend less money for work and get less time for work and get more money. So ideally, like the best indicator of power, when you almost don't work, when you don't get exhausted, but income just comes. So you basically need to
So
go
one question
towards
that comes to my
that.
mind, I know personal, a lot of entrepreneurs who are starting their business, but in their situation, since they have to pay the bills and they'll have a lot of bills and they're not making that amount of money yet, what would you recommend those entrepreneurs who are starting their business? They have a side job, so they are working part-time or full-time, but at the same time, they are developing their business. So a lot of energy, you've mentioned working long hours, and of course, energy goes to that work, right? But what would you recommend those people in order to still create financial abundance? So they are working a job, but they're at the same time building their business. Are there any techniques, any practices that they can do in the spare time to still increase their energy levels in order to create that financial abundance? Because I know it's hard, it's difficult for those people, but I'm sure down. What would you recommend in that case? Are there any loop?
Yeah, you say very exact thing. It's about developing more energy, because as more energy you have, as less you need to try to attract all those possibilities. It's exactly that case when someone just going to business lunch, you just meet some people, and bam, that people think, okay, you are that character. I need you to be the head of my company. I need you to be my right hand. I will make you my partner. I will give you like a good percentage, because I just saw that power in you, what I didn't see in 1,000 of my employees. So it's like that. So better spend time for energy practices. It's plenty of schools and books right now how to grow your energy. It's better to focus on someone what corresponds to you, to your like inner world. Someone prefer yoga, someone prefer magic rituals, but doesn't matter what you choose. First, I recommend to review eating habits. Some bad habits like alcohol, drugs, possibly spending hours for procrastinations, for movies or video games, etc. Spending hours for gossips, or for sitting and thinking how life is unfair, with someone. So things like that.
You actually mentioned, that was my second question. What are some of the things that can block the financial abundance? So you've mentioned gossiping. You have mentioned, one thing you didn't mention, watching the news. That really.
Oh my dear, if I start mention, it will be like 1,000. So it's easier to say what I mentioned than what I didn't mention. For sure. But the hardest is like bad habits, like drugs, alcohol, junky food, for sure. And to wrong people around. If you have like such energy vampires around you, manipulators.
Absolutely. So those things, so let's go over that list again. So you mentioned gossiping, watching news, eating junk food, surrounding yourself with people with very negative mindset, very negative viewpoint on life, very pessimistic, and those people who do not work on expanding their consciousness, who have very narrow mindset. So because our we surround ourselves with it, actually we exchange energy every time we communicate with them. So we got to be very careful who we surround ourselves with. So basically, if we avoid those things, then we can really work on raising our energy, and by raising our energy, create financial abundance. Then we'll be
and be more focused, more sharp with your schedule, your preferences. For example, so much people can just spend half of day for some procrastination. Like, for example, someone calling to girlfriend or friend and to just start talk how day is going, just talking about some empty thing, like nothing, 4 hours. And then people say, I do everything correct. I'm so nice. I meditate. Why I don't have money? Why I don't have good business? Why I don't have something? People not focused. If you want to be successful, you need to cut so much things. You need to cut people who are useless for you. Yes, it's like that. Maybe it's tough. Maybe it's not like kind, nice. You need to cut all like extra contacts. Don't lose time on that. Don't lose time on video games, on movies, news, what you don't need. Just focus. because in our super busy life, we need to deal with a lot of things, and they very aggressively taking our attention from our
Absolutely.
needs.
Zara, thank you for joining. My cousin Zara is with us.
Hi, Zara. I remember her.
Gosh, yeah, I know you had consultation with her prior to. One thing that comes to my mind is that if, for example, if somebody's watching video games, you can substitute it with something productive. You can, instead of playing video game, you can read. Because when you read, and if you read, for example, books on expansion of consciousness, you actually get that information, and there's vibrations, and even in the books, even in the text, everything carries specific frequency. So if, for example, if a person wants to substitute video games playing with reading a book, then it's a good energy exchange, right?
It's a very good energy change, but there is one problem with that as well. First, yes, we need to attune to that state of energy and that type of mind which fascinates us and which we need to reach our goals. Right, just attune to that frequency, listen to successful people, listen to people with beautiful mindset, successful mindset. Definitely, but there is another side of that situation. There are millions of spiritual people who just listening to YouTube videos of spiritual masters, of successful people who are reading books, who are going to yoga classes, meditations, ayahuasca, etc. And then they just sitting homeless, miserable, asking for a couple dollars from their friends because they think, oh, I'm so spiritual. I grew over this materialistic world. I'm over that. No, no, honey. Really strong spirit is power of all aspects. So that is balance of right hemisphere of brain and left hemisphere of brain. It needs to be 50-50. Right hemisphere is intuition, third eye, art abilities, beautiful thinking. Left hemisphere is logic, discipline, schedule, your will over the laziness. So it's a lot to mention, but I have 15 minutes.
Exactly, I see that people are joining, so we have some audience. People are joining, are leaving, and of course it's going to be recorded, so people will be able to. So let's just go with the flow, flowing nicely, so we don't have to stick to 15 minutes. Let's just, because there's a lot of topics that we're really diving into, and I think that they're actually very important to a lot of people. So, and very appropriate to a lot of people who are really struggling with their finances, who are struggling with fighting themselves, who are struggling with fighting their life mission. For example, some people, they might be very excited about getting into fashion, but that because they don't believe in themselves enough. They don't choose that field. They choose another field. Like they choose to get into that field because they know that in that other field they're going to make a lot of money, but they might make money, but they're not going to be really passionate about it. It's not going to be coming from their heart. They're not going to be following their dreams. So that's why it's important to provide information like that to people to really help them find the right approach as far as raising their frequency and getting themselves to a different level. So what I do personally, because you know me, I'm very busy. I always have a lot of projects, and right now I have somebody, this amazing person who I'm not going to disclose his name, but he's a very famous doctor in non-traditional medicine. I work for him, but I'm also developing on the side my own project. So to keep myself on track, when I feel like my energy starts going down because my brain is just a lot of information coming in daily, I find time to meditate. I find at least 15 minutes to do Vipassana meditation to really balance that mind, get myself on track. And also what I do breathing exercises. So I do breathing exercise for Kundalini yoga. So the reason why I mentioned that, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't have to take a lot of your time. If you're very busy, like Daria and I, we're super busy, we still find time to raise our energy. And it can be a short practice, but it can be a very proactive and very efficient practice, right, Daria?
Yes, and since you now find beneficial those type of calming practice to empty your mind and kind of balance your mind after this live, I will send you invitation to my new course. It calls Anti-Stress, with plenty of breathing techniques and meditations and some other cool mind settings from hypnotherapy, etc. I want to add one thing to something what you said a few minutes ago. It's very important to develop exactly something what each of us came to do in this incarnation, because so many people look at neighbors, look at friends, look at someone else and saying, okay, that person open up that type of business. Well, I should copy that. If he sells chairs and he sells chairs so successfully, I will copy. I will make millions of selling chairs as well. It's not gonna work if your life purpose is different, absolutely different. Writing books, be a healer, singing songs, or be a doctor, whatever. We all need to follow our purpose. This is the thing. We see many people who are 30 years old, 40 years old, even sometimes 50 years old. They don't know what is their life purpose, what is their real passion. They thinking, or maybe they thinking, yeah, I have passion. My passion is whatever, and they name something what they think it's not possible to make money on it. They just think so, like they have that unsuccessful beliefs. They used to listen all life to husband, to mother, to someone else who's saying, no, you should be an accountant. No, you should be a pharmacist. It's good. Don't even try to be an astrologer, you stupid idiot.
Yes, that's very important what you touched on. You actually touched on programming, and you touched on programming from our parents, that in a lot of cases, a lot of people, we carry programming, subconscious programming from our parents. And also, so you mentioned two things. You've mentioned, we can actually touch on a little bit, since you've mentioned it. You mentioned programming, and another thing that you've mentioned is limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs that all of us have. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. For whatever reason, I will not be able to accomplish it. Lack of faith, lack of self-love, and lack of faith in ourselves. So once a person really works, do a lot of inner work, and that's what actually my events, that's what they cover. I invite specialists such as yourself who disclose that information to people. So once you do the inner work, you can transform yourself, and upon transforming yourself, you can transform your life. But without doing the inner work, nothing is going to change. If you just read, you can read you've mentioned something, they can read the books all night long, all day long, read books, watch YouTube, go to courses. But if they don't implement, if they don't really do the inner work, they're not going to be able to get to another level. It's all about actually incorporating the knowledge that you learn.
Yes, inner work and outer work as well. This is what I said about right and left hemispheres. Because some people, they do plenty of inner work and they just do kings on the couch. Just no.
One last question that I have for you, Dari. We're already covered a lot of important information that I think a lot of people, once they listen to this maybe recording version, they can really get something that they can connect to. But one last question I want to mention to you, how do conflicts affect the money flow? I know that if couples, for example, if they argue, husband or wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, how do conflicts within the couples affect the money flow? Because I know there is a direct connection, but maybe you can touch on that a little bit since we have limited.
it's not possible to touch it a little bit, but I will try. Each human being has a unique energy system. You know, for some people, I will surprise you, but for some people, conflict is a kind of like fire energy, like gas to move on. Some people like naturally have pathogenic energy field. They need to fight with someone. They need that some craziness to have energy to just jump in a new day. They need to provoke someone, vampire someone, just swallow energy like a vacuum. So some people will live on conflicts. They really need that. They don't want nice balanced husband or wife, girlfriend, boyfriend. No, that is a hell, boring. Give them problems, give them some demons, right? So some people are like that. Some people who are, let's say, they are not forecast, actually, who wants to get familiar with four types of people forecast. Yesterday, I recorded one video in English. Anyone who interested can watch on my page. Some people who are not forecast, who just like young souls, they can live with conflicts. They're not gonna get, let's say, their energy field not going to be damaged by that. They are like pretty, you know, толстокожие.
And I
How
would
would
say
you
like
translate that?
thick skin, very very tough mentally.
Yeah, they're very tough. Yeah, they don't care. They're not sensitive energetically. But if someone is sensitive, can feel energy, the person will be totally destroyed next to mental abuser, next to manipulator, next to some type of aggressive partner or parent. And some people can say like, why you are so weak? Someone said you are a fool and all your day ruined. Why you just focus, just do your stuff? But that's it. A person cannot do that. Um, well, again, I need to touch magic, occultism. This is the thing. As more someone is higher vibration, as more darkness will try to attack that person. It just works like that. So we need to be very disciplined, very super strict with whom we talk, whom we see, with whom we're going to drink coffee, going to lunch, or messaging, just having like small talks. As higher we grow, as more different lifestyle we should have, not like
Absolutely, yeah. And you've
normal
touched again
people.
on something very important. It's very important who we surround ourselves with within our inner circle. If we surround ourselves with lower frequency individuals, our energy field will be impacted that. If we surround ourselves with higher frequency, we will help raise each other's frequency. And that's directly connected to creating that money flow. And something very important also I'm going to touch on, to do the inner work and to do the outer work. So if you just meditate home all day, just meditate, do yoga, and just wait to, for finances to come to, it's not going to happen. No, you have to meditate, you have to do yoga, but you also have to be in touch with the right people. If you're looking for example, for a job, you need to apply to a job. If you're looking to build your business, you need to get guidance specifically as far as how to build your business. You need to seek mentorship and guidance. Well, I think we touched on a lot in a very short, very short live. So, Daria, thank you for having me. To those of you who are not familiar, I'm sure since a lot of your audience is watching us, Daria, she's an incredible tarot reader. She's a spiritual guide. I've asked for her consultations on multiple occasions, and she actually helped me when I was going through some difficult period of my life, and I was trying to really look for that guidance and try and figure out what should be my next step, because I had various options on how to proceed in my life, and that was that person who really shined a lot of light on what decision I should make. I asked her for career advice, I asked got it for relationship advice. And after her consultation, I always got that clarity. And she's an amazing specialist. She's very intuitive, and she's been published in a lot of publications, and she have a lot of high-end clientele. I've known Daria for many years, so I highly recommend. For those of you who are seeking that, make sure to reach out to her directly. Daria, before we leave, let's touch briefly on your upcoming seminar that you've mentioned. You mentioned you have an event coming up. It's called Anti-Stress. So let's briefly talk about that, how people can gain information, and then we'll finish.
That is a course which I already recorded it. So anyone who is interested can message me and receive that course. So how I usually give my like educational classes, exercises, meditations, I give like permission, I give information like the link for like lifelong term. So there is no limits. All educational classes just set like that because we all have different time zone, different schedule, different speed, how we process information or doing practice. So I give access to educational platform, so everyone can move on that platform with his or her own speed and schedule. And I give this access for life term, which is also rare.
So let's briefly touch. So in your upcoming anti-stress seminar workshop that's coming,
it's already came up. It's already like yeah.
Wow,
like
so you have 100 people participating. That's incredible. Yeah. Okay, Daria, well, thank you so much for your time today, for all the feedback. I'm sure it's going to be important, applicable to a lot of people who are listening to us or who are going to listen to us. So before we go, any last advice that you'd like to give to the people who are struggling right now, who are low, where they don't know which way to go, they're not sure about which career to choose, they've tried multiple things, but they're not sure how to find themselves? What advice would you give them? Where should they start as far as finding, mentioned something important, as far as finding their life mission, what karma they're supposed to do? Which advice would you give them?
Okay, when it's that much complicated, like that time, that much like block about what someone should do or what someone is, in that case, I'm inviting to my private Skype consultation because I will answer that question. What is life purpose? What is blocking the energy? Which people are wrong in his or her life, places, etc. When it's like that, that is the short way. Or you can just talk to someone else whom you trust, like any other spiritual advisor. This is the shortest way. The more long way is just try to open different doors. I mean, try to find what gonna light your spirit. For someone is traveling to sacred place. For someone just go to mountain and don't hear anyone for 1 week. For someone is start healthy diet. For someone is start like serious spiritual practice. For someone is divorce. We all unique, and everyone will have her or his own
yeah, that's absolutely, I couldn't agree more. It's very individual for everybody, so it's all about finding that guidance and finding that mentorship. I, through my spiritual journey, had a lot of spiritual guides and a lot of mentors, so I can relate. But we're not going to go into that. Daria, thank you so much again for your time, and I'm looking forward to our next live session, and I'm looking forward to collaborating with you and creating online events together. Since right now we're not in play together, you moved, so we can still work together by creating online seminars and webinars for people. I'm looking forward to that. Thank you for your time, and thank you everybody who's joined us, and have a wonderful, amazing day. Good luck. Bye.
Thank you.